Hey everybody, so my name is LaPretty and I'm the Dominican Voodoo Spiritualist, and today I'm going to be talking about the Orisha Orunmila. So the first thing I want to say is happy birthday, Orunmila. Orisha Orunmila's feast day is today, which is October the 4th. In the Lukumi or Santeria or regular Orisha tradition, a lot of times we will honor the Orishas on their birthdays or feast days. We will usually set up like a simple altar with their candle of their color and give them their favorite fruits, foods, or herbs and honor them on their days. So today is the day of Orunmila. Now, the Orisha Orunmila is the Orisha of divination. He is the one who guides people's paths. He's the one who guides people's destinies. And he's pretty much the one that acts as the mediator between the client and the Babalawo. Because the Babalawo is the high priest when it comes to Ifa, and and the Babalawo receives all of his knowledge and teachings straight from Orunmila. So with Orunmila, when you serve Orunmila, or when you talk to Orunmila, or when you have an experience with Orunmila, Orunmila pretty much gives you the secrets and details of your path and of your destiny. When a person receives their hand of Ifa, they usually find out their Odu, which is their life path, but they also find out their crown Orisha or their Ori, or the Orisha who crowns their head. I do have a video here on my YouTube channel where I talk about receiving your hand of Ifa. I myself have received my hand of Ifa. And if you have your hand of Ifa, which means that you probably have your supera or your vase that's dedicated to Orunmila, I'll be showing you how to set up a simple altar for Orunmila on his feast day, or whenever you want to call on him, or whenever you would like to speak with him or have him resolve an issue. Another thing that people don't know about Orunmila is that he does reveal secrets. He reveals secrets about the sources of your misfortune, the sources of your bad luck, but also the sources of any type of spiritual attacks or curses or hexes that may have been placed on you. When it comes to Santeria, regular Osha, Olukumi, we do get a bad name because people think that, oh, all we do is practice witchcraft or brujeria. It's not that. Like Santeria, Lukumi, regular Osha is a religion. It's not some witchcraft or folk magic or none of that type of stuff. It is a full blown respected religion. And I say that because people think that when you practice regular Osha or Lukumi, that it's all, fun and daisies, bright colors. You have the days of different colors, the lekes, the warriors, the pots, and the really big, beautiful, pretty altar set up for when you get crowned. But it's more to it than that. It's more than just an aesthetic. Because people think that being a Lukumi girl or a Lukumi guy or a Santeria girl or whatever is just this big, like, beautiful, like, stunt show. But it's not. Like, Santeria is a beautiful religion. It's really pretty and gorgeous and interesting, but it's a lifestyle. And so if you're having issues, whether it be with money, luck, prosperity, health, family, jobs, or business, or even, having issues with gaining a peace of mind, the regular Osha Lukumi tradition can help you obtain a peace of mind, can help you have a better outlook on life, or improve your health, or improve your family quarrels or relationships or money problems. The main thing about practicing regular Osha Lukumi is making sure that you know what you're doing. So when it comes to Orunmila is the Orisha of knowledge. So he's the source out of all the other Orishas that pretty much that pretty much instructs you on what to do. Like how to set up an altar, how to give an ebo, which is a sacrifice, how to give an ademu, which is a food offering, how to speak to certain people, how to resolve certain issues. But he's also good at protecting you and breaking up curses and hexes and spells or whatnot that have been placed on you with ill intent. Now, I will give you a secret when it comes to Ilegwa. Ilegwa is the one that we do go to that's a return to sender spirit. So if somebody does something wrong to you, and you want to get them back, you can go to Orunmila and he can get them back for you. But there may be a consequence or there may be a backfiring, waiting to happen. Because the thing about Orunmila is that he can strike and he can press forward, but if this person is stronger than you or they know the force that you use and they can get you back where you got them, then they can hit you back just as hard as you hit them back with him. So the thing about Ilegwa is that Ilegwa can open up the road, close the roads of your enemies, and he can get back at your enemies. But when you go through him, depending on the situation and depending on the person that you hit, the return to sender can either be a one and done thing or it can be the cause of an all out spiritual war. And spiritual wars is something that you don't want, especially if you don't have the tools in order to fight it. So, the thing about Orunmila, on the other hand, is that Orunmila sees and hears all things. So, if you are being spiritually attacked, if you're being spiritually polluted, or people are planning things against you for ill will, ill intent, he can clear those things and cleanse those things off of your Ori without seeking vengeance. Because the thing about Orunmila is that he's like the mediator, he's the peacemaker. So if you go to him and somebody is throwing at you or planning stuff against you and whatnot, he will clear that off of you and clear it up without getting them back. And that's actually a better option sometimes because spiritual wars can be tiresome, they can be draining, and they can be detrimental to your health, to your luck, your money, love life, family. It can ruin your whole life being in the spiritual war. And so Orunmila can keep you in a safe space where, yeah, you're going through this, yeah, you're going through that, but he can fight your battles for you without you having to fight back. So with Orunmila, and I'm going to show you my pot. So I can only use an example for somebody who has received their hand of Ifa, but I'll go ahead and give an example to somebody who doesn't have their hand of Ifa, and you need to talk to Orunmila because you want guidance, or you want protection, or you want a spiritual attack, or a hex or a curse to be broken away from you and kept in a safe space. So what you're going to do is you're going to get 2 candles, and one candle is going to be green and one candle is going to be yellow. Or you could get the usual 2-tone candles where the top is yellow and the bottom is green, and it'll have Orunmila on it. And if Orunmila is not on it, you could just use either a green or yellow candle or both, or you could use one of those candles where like the top or the bottom is either green or yellow. Then what you're going to do is you're going to use a picture of Orunmila. If you don't have a picture, you can use a statue of Orunmila. And then you're always going to make sure that your space is clean before putting down the statue and the candle. Whenever you serve the Orishas, make sure that the altar or the space you set them on is clean. That way you don't have any evil or detrimental energies trying to hinder your petition or your work. So once you do that, then when you put down the candle and the statue or the picture, you're going to offer him a fruit offering. Now, Orunmila, he prefers palm oil, which looks like this. Palm oil is very popular in African cuisines, and you can usually find palm oil in either Caribbean or African grocery stores. And palm oil actually has a lot of spiritual meaning to it. In the Ifa tradition, we use palm oil to venerate the ancestors, but we also use palm oil sometimes to activate different tools that we use for divination. So you can offer Orunmila palm oil. You can offer him honey. And some people often think that honey is only for Oshun. Honey is offered to a lot of the Orishas, whether people believe it or not. You can offer honey to Ilegwa, you can offer honey to Oshun, and you can offer honey to Orunmila, but you can also offer cut up fruit drizzled with honey to Ogun. So honey has many different meanings as far as spirituality. Honey can be used in money spells, in love spells, in fixing, broken relationships or broken bonds. Or it can be used to bring on sweetness or to repair, bad luck or bad, omens or whatnot you may be dealing with. So you can offer Orunmila palm oil. You can offer him honey. You can offer him coconuts. And you can also offer him water. He does accept water. Water can be used to purify the air and purify any type of, I want to say, blockages that may be between you and Orunmila, or that may be between you and your spirit guides, or if you have any blockages in the spiritual realm where you can't connect to anybody, you can offer water to Orunmila and it can break up a lot of that dysfunction. So once you have all of your offerings, you can offer one of those things right alongside the candle and the picture on the altar. And then all you would need to do is just light the candle, greet Orunmila, and just tell him about your problems and let him work. Now I'm going to teach you the initiate way of setting up the altar. So when you want to talk to Orunmila and you have your pot, what you're going to do is make sure that you clean your space and you're going to put down a white cloth. White represents purity, spirit, ancestors. So you're going to put down a white cloth. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your pot. This is my pot. This is my Orunmila pot that I received in my Hand of Ifa ceremony. So to those of you who have, your Hand of Ifa, you know what's inside of this. Your sign, your kola nut, as well as the stones you received. And another thing, and I'm not going to say what else should be in here, but if you know, it's supposed to be in here as well, because that's what connects you to Orunmila spiritually and orally, since this was a ceremony that was done to not only connect you to him, but to connect them to to connect you to your Ori, your head Orisha. So you're gonna put this pot in the middle. Then you're gonna put a white tea light candle, or you could use a green or yellow candle on one side, and then you're gonna use another white tea light candle or a white regular candle or a green or yellow candle, because Orunmila's colors are yellow and green. And then as far as the offering, you could offer him honey or palm oil in a white plate like this, and you could offer him coconut in a white plate like this. Or what you could do is you could get two white plates and you could put a piece of fruit on each side, and then light your candles, and then you'll speak to Orunmila that way. That's the way that I learned to serve Orunmila as an initiate. I know there's a lot of controversy. I don't really see too much of that now. I guess due to so many people becoming crowned now in Santeria or Lukumi. And so you don't really see too many issues of altars and whatnot. But when I first got started, people used to give me so much gripe about setting up altars the way that I did without this. So I'm going to school you. You should not have this on your altar if you haven't been given this in the ceremony, or if it hasn't been consecrated in the ceremony. If you buy a pot like this and put it on your altar and call it Oshun, Ibeji, Orunmila, or Shango, it's not going to have any power. Because the whole purpose of having a pot or a supera in Lukumi or regular Osha is the fact that Orisha lives inside of that pot or inside of that supera. So when you activate it, it activates the Orisha that lives in that pot. That way that activated Orisha can activate what's been placed in you so that they can start working with you. But if you get a pot that's empty and that hasn't been consecrated or that hasn't had anything in it, then it's not going to do anything for you. So if you're an initiate, then you could get your Orunmila supera as well as your white cloth that you're going to put down before placing it on there. Then you're going to get your white plate or two white plates and put your two offerings and place them on each side. And then you're going to take your two tea light candles and place one on each side. Or you could place a yellow or green candle on one on each side and light them up and serve Orunmila. So that's pretty much the way that you can serve Orunmila, or that you can, calling Orunmila. Now, I hope I wasn't confusing about the whole altar thing, because the thing that I want to say is that if you are an Aleo, which is somebody who is an outsider of Lukumi, whether they're Orisha or somebody who's not initiated, then you can use a statue or a candle and an offering, whichever the Orisha prefers, and that could be your altar, or that could be your safe space for that Orisha. But if you're initiated and you have pots, like when you receive your warriors, you have your Ogun pot. You can serve a chosi with that pot as well. And you have your Osun tin thing with the rooster on the top, as well as your Ilegwa head. And if you receive your hand of Ifa, you have this pot, and you can work those pots. You can work with those. And those are, I think I said it right. So, but when you're initiated, when you have those pots, those have been consecrated and activated for you to work with those orishas. So that's pretty much what that is. So, in the early days of TikTok, a lot of people used to bully people and fearmonger people about setting up statues and candles and food offers and whatnot, saying that that's not the proper way. But in all honesty, they were just trying to shame you into getting crowned. Because anybody who knows, that's in the religion, that's initiated, knows that you don't use pots until you get initiated, and they've been consecrated and given to you in ceremony. But if you're in a Leo and you use a statue with the candle and the offering for that said Orisha, then you're good. Because I remember before I got initiated, I had statues and still use them. And I use the Oshun and the Legua, candles from the Botanica and everything like that before getting initiated, and it worked for me. So I'm like, if it worked, then it must not be, too bad. But, like I said, you have to be careful of who you listen to in the community as far as Lukumin, Brother Osha, because there's a lot of shaming and fear mongering and force going on when it comes to getting crowned and getting initiated. Only be crowned or initiated is if you've been called or told, or if that's just what you want to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to love, like, and leave positive comments in the comment section. And subscribe to my YouTube page, as well as my TikTok, as well as my Instagram and Facebook. And have a good day.